Yo, what's going on, guys? L7C here. We are live doing another live podcast for you guys today. We're going to be getting ready. Just hang on for a bit. We're going to be getting ready. And yeah, we're going to be talking some Survivor Series with the wrestling expert Jacob Mason. We just gotta wait for him to get here. Excuse me, we are waiting for the wrestling expert. Waiting for the wrestling expert. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. Let's get him. Let's get him in here. Ah, there he is. There he is.
What's up?
What's up, man? Currently live on the YouTube.
Oh, we are live.
We are live. Just getting ready to switch the cameras to us, letting you get ready. Whenever you're ready, we'll really get it going.
I'm ready as we're going to be, buddy.
All right, all right.
Is it just us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. We are live for this Thanksgiving week. Yesterday, if you tuned in, we did the college football one live. Today, we're doing the wrestling one live. And we got one more that we are going to be doing live this week. So, we got the wrestling expert with us, Jacob Mason. How are you doing today, sir?
I am fantastic on this Thanksgiving Eve. Ready to talk some Survivor Series, some Thanksgiving wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, like you said, we are live, which is the first for me here. So I'm pretty excited.
That's true. It's the first live one, just you by yourself. Which that is a big accomplishment. You're making waves. You're making waves.
We're making waves. That is a fact. I mean, this probably won't get monetized by the time we're done with this, but that's all right. All right.
Before we do talk about Survivor Series that's happening this Saturday at Allstate Arena in Chicago, do you want to quickly, Jacob, just get your opinion on some stuff that happened literally like this past weekend with Full Gear, and more particularly the Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page Texas Death Match, which was the talk of the wrestling world this past week. What were your thoughts on that match, and did that re-put like Hangman Page that he should be like in the main event, and did that solidify Swerve that he should be in the main event?
So with this match, I'll just be completely honest with this entire pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. One, I forgot it was even happening. And two, I was down towards Columbus I was there to support my wife for a softball tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So I was busy that night. But I ended up catching all the afterwards stuff and caught all the highlights of all the stuff I needed to see. And yeah, nothing else really seemed to matter on that entire pay-per-view card other than this Texas death match.
Yeah.
And technically, yes, Swerve Strickland won, but both men won at the end of the day because that was the realest death match we've seen on a pay-per-view, on a mainstream wrestling show
Mm-hmm.
in a long, long time. And yeah, I think Adam Page has always been a main eventer, but I don't think a lot of people look at it that way. And I am biased. I'm a big, massive Hangman Page fan. But Swerve Strickland, this puts him in that main event conversation. This keeps Adam Page in that main event conversation. The build up to this match was really, really good. They got real personal with Swerve Strickland showing up to Adam Page's house. Good stuff. They even did that stuff on social media, like on Swerve's Instagram. He said, "Nah, I guess we're taking a detour here," and like they were in like the Charlotte airport, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went and did that angle with Hangman Page's house. Well done, great match, gnarly ending with Hangman Page getting literally hung.
Yeah.
I mean, who had that on their 2023 bingo cards? Someone getting hung on live pay-per-view on a main wrestling show.
Yeah, man, that was wild, and like you said, that was the biggest thing that came from that pay-per-view, the Swerve and Hangman Page, and the Captain Byron Mitchell tooted in saying how Hangman killed Swerve in that last promo, the Go Home show, and he was right, but you're right, Jacob, on Hangman. He's always been a main eventer, but I do feel like ever since we had the Punk and MJF like title reigns, Hangman has been in the back, really, and now it's like the MJF, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe type thing, and obviously like John Moxley, so I feel like this puts him back into like the 1A category.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people forget that the first year and a half was the Adam Page storyline, essentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had your Chris Jerichos, you had your Kenny Omegas, you had your Cody Rhodes. But at the end of the day, you had a long-term storyline with building Hangman Adam Page to be your guy.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that also all that happened too when COVID was going on. Mm-hmm. So you had that weird time in wrestling. But I think a lot of people forget that. But Hangman Page, fucking legit. Swerve Strickland, absolutely fucking legit. Good shit.
Amen. Amen to that. So, Jacob, Survivor Series War Games. This Saturday, Allstate Arena in Chicago. So we'll get this out of the way before we actually address the real things on the card. What percentage do you put that Mr. Phil Brooks shows up?
I don't think he's showing up. I don't think it's happening. I think I think one of the biggest teases WWE had was they kept putting all the fucking lightning bolts on a lot of the promo stuff, which is like a very CM Punk thing. And then we now find out that Randy Orton's number 5 for Team Cody Rhodes. And then as soon as his name gets dropped, his new merch gets dropped. Mm-hmm. With his new merch, it gets dropped. It's all lightning bolts and a snake. So I don't think it's going to be Phil. I just don't. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to happen. The only reason I think that the rumor got built up is because it's in Chicago. If it was in any other city, this rumor would not have picked up as much steam as it did when Punk left AEW, and they're like, oh, in a couple of weeks, months, Survivor Series in Chicago, in Allstate Arena, where he had his biggest wrestling moment ever. So if it wasn't there, this wouldn't be a thing. But of course, anything time Chicago gets brought up, Punk gets brought up.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things also where timing.
Hmm.
This is kind of the equivalent of when Bray Wyatt was out of the WWE and we all thought he was coming to AEW on Halloween.
Yes.
Like this just lines up timing wise. This just lines up perfectly. It's got to be true. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. I don't see it happening, but like you said, with it being in Chicago, it fans the fire of rumors. So
Yeah. And
hypothetically, let's say hypothetically,
hmm
Phil Brooks does show up. And we're going to go back. I asked this a long time ago when he was coming to AEW. Does he start the show or does he end the show? Let's say he's coming back for sure.
I think he would. I think he'd end the show.
That's what I would think. I'm with you on there. I mean, I have to imagine the crowd's still going to be going crazy, screaming for CM Punk the entire time, though. I think they hijacked the show.
I do too, and I think the way you combat hijacking the show is having excellent performances.
Yep.
No, I mean, I think the War Game, both matches, they won't be hijacking. We're going to get a lot of This Is Awesome, and we're going to get into that. But there are some matches here that I'm nervous that it's going to get hijacked extremely. And Cedric, where one of the founders of the L7C said, "Nice Crosby fathead" in the background, Jacob.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Shout out to my brother for giving it to me.
So let's go through some of these matches first. First, Gunter, Intercontinental Champion versus The Miz. Miz has turned face now. Gunter's the heel. Gunter's on a historic reign. Jacob, who do you think comes out on top in this one?
This is actually a very exciting match. Like, I'm really, really looking forward to this match because you have, on one hand, you have The Miz being, I think he's tied for the most Intercontinental Championship reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Gunther, who's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. That right there, that's a storyline in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, if Miz wins, he beats Jericho for most reigns. And if not, we still keep the absolute unstoppable force of Gunther being IC champion. Who wins this? I hope Gunther wins this. If Gunther loses it at this point, I want to see him lose it on either a Mania or a SummerSlam. Because I just think he deserved that. If he's going to go out, put him out on number one or number two biggest stage.
Yeah. So I agree with that. He deserves to lose it on a big stage. The only reason I would think he would lose it this Saturday is because they're getting him ready for the busy stretch of Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, challenging Seth Rollins maybe for the title, and giving him that strap. Because there have been talks that he's outgrowing the Intercontinental Championship and he's getting ready for a main run. And obviously, we've talked about this a couple times. Once we get to Royal Rumble and Mania, that's when Lesnar comes back. If you don't want the Intercontinental Championship getting tied into a Lesnar match, then he's gonna have to drop it. And then you got Gunter versus Lesnar. Like, those possibilities are gonna start ramping up once it gets to Mania, like Royal Rumble season.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's a very bittersweet thing because Gunther, in my opinion, has made that Intercontinental Championship feel like a main event title. He's done so well with that it's almost like, dude, I don't want to see him lose that. Like, he's just done so well with it. He's made that title the most relevant it has been in the past 10, 15 years.
Maybe since the last time The Miz had it.
I mean, it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, but do you think I don't think Gunther actually needs the world title. Like, I as much as he would be great with it, I don't think he actually needs it. And honestly, I think a Brock Lesnar versus Gunther match at Mania for the IC title, I think that'd be sweet. Because it's a win-win either way for the title. Because technically, if Gunther wins, he's unstoppable force. And then if let's say Lesnar wins, holy shit, Lesnar has the IC title. That's insane.
I think the only problem with that is we know that Lesnar wouldn't win the IC title. It's like one of those things like when Cena wrestled Theory when they made it for the US championship. We instantly knew Cena was not winning that thing because of it's for the title. That's my thing. Like if Lesnar's not going to hold the Intercontinental title, so we already know that Gunter would win that. Now, if it's just mano y mano, then you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, could you see Lesnar possibly like winning it at Mania and then losing it the following night or at the following pay-per-view? Could you see something along those lines?
But just for recent history, the dude doesn't wrestle for anything besides the main title or a big non-main title match.
I still think it'd be cool, but I'm biased here.
But I do think that they want him to win that. Gunter is going to be a world champion because they got to establish the next people up. He's established, but as a world champ.
Yeah.
Because no offense to Gunter, he's had some of these intercontinental, he had the one with Drew and Sheamus a lot, but if he becomes world champ, then he's having main events against Seth Rollins, main events against Cody Rhodes, stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm such a fan of Gunther right now. Just everything he's doing. It's just everything is clicking right now for that man. It's just like, I always want to see it get screwed up if something happens.
Well, eventually he will lose. It's just a matter of to who. But I think Gunter will beat The Miz. I don't think it's time yet. This is one of the matches that I do think that when I talked about the Punk chance just destroying it, Rhea Ripley, champion versus Zoe Stark. There is no way in hell Zoe Stark is winning this match.
Yeah, there's absolutely zero reason. There's zero. I'm not saying there's zero draw with her name, but compared to Rhea Ripley, there's zero draw with that.
So if I was them, to avoid those Punk chants, Zoe gets squashed and you get out of there.
Yeah. Make that a quick squash match, call it a day.
And then you got Carlito going against Santo Escobar. It's kind of crazy. The last time Carlito was on a WWE pay-per-view was 07-ish range with Triple H. With long hair Triple H. So against Escobar, who has turned heel. He's against the Latino World Order. I think with this one, I think Escobar takes it.
I would hope Escobar takes it. I mean, does Carlito really need the win?
No.
Exactly. Yeah. Establish Escobar as your high-end heel. The funniest part about him turning on the LWO is the fact he has the LWO tattoo on him. Which, it's like marrying someone and getting their name tattooed on you.
That's why you don't do it. Byron has Santos winning as well. I mean, I don't think there's any much more on that match. All right. Women's War Game match. You got Bailey, Asuka, Io Sky, Kairi Sane on a team versus the new Damage Control with Dakota Kai, which I got to see in person on SmackDown form, so that was really awesome seeing that. Versus Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch joined this team because now Becky Lynch is in that weird spot where she lost the NXT title. She really wasn't. She was wrestling people on Raw and to put her in this big match. But Jacob, interesting question before we dissect the match. Charlotte and Becky, side by side. It's been the first time in a couple years when the friendship was over, when they did the shoot. Charlotte threw the belt at Becky's feet and their friendship ended and whatnot. You think they're cool now, or you think they're just being professional?
I think they're being professional. I think this is the start of Becky Lynch's Mania run. I think this is it right here. I think this is what kicks it off for her in whatever storyline she's about to go to. If it's Charlotte, I think that's going to get kicked off. My question is why the hell is Shotzi there? Because I feel like team non-damage control should
Mm-hmm.
win, but at the same time, like I feel like Shotzi's there just to take the pin.
Yeah, Byron also, who is a Becky expert and remembers that feud, says that Becky, they're being professional. The thing is, I disagree. I think Damage Control should win.
I'd be
Just,
good with it. I'd be very good with that.
Io is the women's champion here. Kairi Sane just came back. You have this dominant women's faction. I think they should be the team of they're not misfits, but they're not a team. They're just people who hate Damage Control. I think Damage Control should win, especially Io, who, fun fact, has been in every women's war game match since they've started. So, and she's the champ. I think they should win. And Byron had an interesting comment in the section. He thinks from the way it's going, because now Asuka, Kairi Sane, if you remember the team Io back in the day, Damage Control is going to turn on Bayley either during the match or after and kick her out.
Mm. I could see it. That'd work.
Because if you see some stuff like some off-camera stuff, Dakota Kai's kind of starting to lead it, and Bayley's not paying attention. But if you kick Bayley out for the first time since what, 8 years, she could be a face again, and then she could start her WrestleMania run for revenge.
I'd be good with that. That's a win all around.
Yeah, I just really don't want to see Charlotte take the win for her team. That's another thing.
That is very true.
But it'll
Anyone but Charlotte.
yeah. And you said because Shotzi would be the one on their team to take the pin.
I mean, I feel like that's the only reason she's there.
Yeah. Then you got the men's war game match. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and then Randy Orton, who just got announced this Monday. First Judgment Day, going against Damian Finn, Dirty Dom, JD, and Drew. Couple things. Jacob, I understand Drew McIntyre's we hate sometimes say it never makes sense. Perfect sense. If I was Drew, I would hate Jey Uso too. Like those promos he's dropping about like your family cost my family its greatest moment ever. True. At that pay-per-view. Like I get it. I get Drew's motivation.
Absolutely. 100%. We just ain't sweeping that shit under the rug. Absolutely not.
Like that is where they find like the continued story. They just don't be like, oh, Drew's a good guy, so he's gonna be like, oh, bygones be gone. No, I was finally going to beat Roman Reigns. I was going to be the one, and it was your family's fault. Why would I forgive you?
Well, you said it perfectly. Continued storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the stare around the world.
Yes.
Mr. Jey Uso, when Randy got announced, dude, that stare, that camera angle, that was chef's kiss. Absolutely perfect.
For people who don't know, the bloodline, Jey Uso and them, obviously Randy was getting surgery, but storyline are the ones who wrote Randy off. They effed him up.
Yep.
So
the question is, does Randy Orton throw down an RKO and or a punt kick on Jey Uso and just lose it for his team? But I don't care.
Oh man, I feel like I would love to see Vegas odds on that. I feel like that's a pick 'em.
Well, like fantasy booking in my mind here. This is what I think is going to end up going down.
Think so, Byron? We think Jay might get RKO'd.
I think Mr. Russo catches an RKO and or a punt kick.
Mm-hmm.
Because Randy's gonna be like, "Hey, screw you, man. We got business to handle." Then on top of that, Drew McIntyre is going to get the pin on Jey Uso. I'm sorry, I think that'd be pretty damn
Jesus
sweet.
Christ, that would be crazy. I also love it too how when Randy's music hits is going to be crazy because Randy hasn't posted nothing. Like
No. but he does have
new merch. Yep.
Well, not new merch, new music.
New music, yeah.
His music, they got like I don't know, I want to say a remix, but a redo, same song, some more synthesizers in it, I guess.
It's gonna be wild when his music goes off because again, I didn't think he was like he got the transfusion, whatever, the fusion, neck fusion thing. Like I was like, oh, I don't think he's coming back, but here we are, man. And the way Cody told us how he's coming, and he didn't even have to say Randy's name, just gave the accolade and stuff. And he's like the crowd's right, and like you said, the Jey Uso face. I don't know what Jay's gonna do if he has to be in that pod next to him.
I think they're going to save that because I think the entire WWE universe is just sitting back, just like waiting, like, oh shit, it's going down. How is it going down? I don't know. They're going to keep them separated. They have to. That's one of the pinnacles of the match right there. Without anything even happening, those two looking at each other. That's going to be massive.
Oh man, and then Cody Rhodes posting the picture of him and Randy saying Master and Apprentice one more time. Like, dude, it's gonna be wild.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Master and Apprentice, we have Finn Balor and Finn Balor Light, JD McDonough. We have the generic brand.
You want to talk, but Jake, I want to ask you, if you're a betting man, who gets RKO'd first, Jey Uso or Rhea Ripley?
Ooh.
Because Randy doesn't care.
No, that'd be a statement coming back in RKO and Rhea Ripley. That'd be sweet. I don't know. I'm gonna say Jey Uso. Jey Uso. He's going to end up getting his, and he deserves it.
Yes,
he definitely deserves it.
Oh man! But with the caliber of someone like Randy Orton coming back, opens up a floodgate of matches going into the Mania season.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, all right, so what do you do with him in Mania? I don't see him going after Roman.
No.
Could you see him going after Seth, maybe?
Maybe he goes and kills Jimmy.
Maybe he just kills the entire bloodline.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. Whatever. It's good TV.
You could do something where Randy tells Cody, he's like, hey, just came back. Understand you're taking Roman. You're not going to be able to beat Roman alone as long as he has those people. So I'm going to kill every last one of them. So it's just you and Roman at night 2 at Mania. No distract. Mano-y-mano.
No, I could see something like that, but just...
And then Randy goes heel and turns on Cody after he wins.
Bingo. Right there. That's what I'm talking about. He's coming back as a face, but I don't think he's going to be a face for very long.
Oh, no. Dude, if he comes back like 09, like his head shaved, it's bad out. Because we don't know what the dude looks like right now.
Hell yeah.
Like,
I don't need legend killer Randy Orton. I need like rookie killer Randy Orton. I just want to take out everyone.
God.
Pump kicks all around.
Dude, the last time he was here, man, Vince McMahon was still in charge. Riddle still had a job. Like, it's been ages.
Oh, we had that fun-ass tag team.
Mm-hmm. And then it's gone. Like, it's going to be so interesting. And these are the only matches that are actually listed on the card right now. Only 5. The War Game matches are going to take a bit, but I like it. 2 big War Game matches with star power and other matches in between.
Yeah. The only thing that would make it better is if we could get William Regal just to come out and just say War Games. Not War Games, War Games. Because that's what I miss the most about War Games, War Games.
I will say, Jacob, this is kind of crazy, though, because we said him in a little bit, but Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, not on a Big 4 pay-per-view. It's looking like the rumor is true that Roman is not wrestling again until 2024.
Yeah. We called that. They're sitting them. They're benching them. They got no reason to use them.
Which is crazy. There's something I want to bring up too, bringing up Roman, and I don't think we've actually talked about this, and I know Byron's watching in the chat. Mr. Paul won the U.S. title from Rey Mysterio.
Yes, sir.
Only problem I have is the U.S. title is also on SmackDown. Your 2 men championships are part timers. I don't like that at all, man. Because when Roman was gone, you at least had the U.S. title on there, all that.
Yeah.
You don't have any male titles on your show that has usually more viewers than Raw.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like that, man, because now Cody's been having to come to SmackDown and do the main event dark matches because they have no male champion. Gunter, when we went to SmackDown, he was another. They had 2 dark matches. They had Cody versus Dom, and then they had Gunter versus main event Jey Uso. All 4 of those people are on Raw. Like,
That's wild.
yeah, like Gunter is technically the only full-time main roster male champion right now, excluding tag teams.
Wasn't it Seth though?
Oh yeah, Seth Rollins. Correct, you're right. Seth Rollins.
I mean, I'll say this much. I mean, we talk about this quite often. We talk about like when someone popular has the title and then goes out and carries that title everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm.
Was it last week or the week before at the one big UFC pay-per-view?
Yep, he had the title. Logan had the title.
There he is with the title, shouting out Dirty Dom Mysterio. I liked it. I was happy to see it.
I love that part too, but it's the fact that if you're not scheduled until, because it looks like he's not scheduled till next year either. So, like, if you're gonna have that, you at least gotta come periodically or be involved in some story. With social media, you could tweet or do video vignettes for the old young kids who don't know what vignettes are, but I just don't like 2 champions being part. Your 2 male ones are part timers.
Yeah.
Also, on Raw, you kind of see where Cody's on the pecking order because, like you said, Seth is a world champion, but anytime that group came out, they were playing Cody's music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you kind of see where the order is.
Oh, yeah. It's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
You know, something else with, like, I don't know. Tell me what you think about this.
Mm-hmm.
With SmackDown having essentially 2 part-time champions.
Yes.
Which are both big names.
Yes.
But part-time champions. Do you think that is because at this point Fox is essentially out of the TV deal? They've already said like we're not renewing.
Yeah, because they're going to be done in 2024, so it's still a whole year though.
Yeah, I mean you got the bidding war of 2024 part 2.
Yeah, and it's also the only good thing that comes from that though is if they really plan as well as they say, which I don't think they do. It shows the big brain on why they have all the Omega women talent on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because they were main eventing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I got mad that I was like, Kairi Sane's on SmackDown. Why? They don't need her. Raw women are terrible.
Hey man, shout out to Natalia and Rhea Ripley for their
Okay, Rhea Ripley is cool, but Becky is cool. But come on, man, they need some help over there.
Oh, terribly. Ready for Alexa to come back,
or get someone. I mean, the NXT women are killing it. Shout out to them. But like, it's just the fact that it's gonna be Mania season where we actually think Rhea will be in a competitive match for a title.
I mean, if you want to see a splash with the Raw women's roster right now, you know who you should get that? Mandy Rose.
I don't disagree.
You get Mandy Rose, man. I mean, you can pay her enough money and be like, hey, put your fans, your OnlyFans or whatever the hell you're doing. if you can just stop that, just come back and just wrestle for a little bit. Like, I mean, we can't put you in the Hall of Fame because of China, but you know, we can make something happen.
I think that it's going to be interesting when we come to Royal Rumble time because she could be a potential person with that. And I do think the women down at NXT, they're just killing it. I just think that they need to... I thought they were going to make Shayna a monster again. It like got swelled. They got Nia Jax there. And then they got Becky Lynch. they're doing whatever. They're basically doing filler before Becky and Rhea confront each other again.
Yeah, they're just biding time. That's it. I'm kind of shocked they haven't done anything yet with Nia and Becky, because that storyline writes itself.
Yeah. They've had backstage stuff, but no one-on-one match. I mean, that could have been her. That might be her feud, for filler before WrestleMania.
Yeah, you could run it. You could run easily a month and a half, 2 month feud there, storyline. Right. And like I said, it writes itself.
Right. Jacob, anything else in the wrestling world? I know Tony Khan's going at it again against Survivor Series, direct competition. It hasn't been going too well for him these recent times when he's done this, but...
Dude, stop it. Hey, just stop, man. Like, listen, AEW is great. AEW is cool. You know, not knocking AEW. I'm the mark for AEW.
Right.
That being said, stay in your lane, Tony. What are we doing? You're not going against Cody Rhodes. You're not going against Randy Orton. It's just not happening. I don't care if you have Edge. I don't care who your women's champion is this week. Let's talk about that. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly hot potato with this women's championship. My God, just give it back to Britt Baker at this point or something. But can someone hold this title consistently for 6 months?
For people who don't know, Jacob is talking about Toni Storm winning the title from Shida at Full Gear this past weekend. And it is literally deja vu because we have had this same situation just a couple months ago.
Dude, I get it. Toni Storm is doing possibly her best work she's ever done right now.
Mm-hmm.
And good job, Toni, because you were ass up until this point. Absolute straight ass.
Yes.
You had your NXT days. Let me rephrase that. You had your NXT UK days, which were awesome.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. Everything after that, straight downhill, plummet, nosedive, done.
Yeah,
and then you reinvented yourself with this new character, and it's awesome, and it's great. That being said, that title doesn't mean a damn thing. That title is trash.
So just looking at this, this is crazy. So when Thunder Rosa, back in 2022, March, had to vacate the title, Toni Storm won the title. Then Jamie Hayter. Jamie got hurt, so she had to lose the title. Who did she lose it to? Toni Storm. Then Shida won that title, held it for 4 days before Saraya won the title. And we're like, what the hell was the point? If you wanted... Because Saraya pinned Toni Storm to win the title. Why didn't you just do them one-on-one? We bitched about that. Listen to the Wembley pod. But then Shida wins it a month later, back from Saraya. So we're like, what's the point? And then Toni just wins it again. So Toni Storm has had 1, 2, 3 reigns in the past year.
Ew. Awesome.
And 2 out of the 3 were terrible, like you said. But timeless Toni Storm, she's in her bag, so that's probably why they gave it to her. But it's so who's going to beat her for the title again? Shida? Is she going to do it again? Is Saraya going to beat her for the title? Shit, Jacob, does Saraya even wrestle anymore? What's going on? She is supposed to be the new face.
No one knows. No one knows what the hell's going on in the AEW women's division. Seriously, if there's been one consistent on this podcast, which has been this way since AEW started, we have constantly complained about the AEW's women's division, minus Jade Cargill,
who left because she never got a main title push.
That was the only one thing that everyone agreed on. Said this is good. We've had differences about Britt Baker. We've had differences about everything else. But consistently, God, this division is terrible. Holy hell.
When do you think Jamie's coming back?
I mean, Jamie's got to be coming back, but even then, so what? Let's say Jamie comes back in a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say a month. Let's say she beats Toni Storm, so we're back into the hot potato factor of flip-flopping between champions, making the championship look like shit. So literally, unless you give it, and whoever gets this title, and if Toni keeps it, she has to actually do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping with her new character, she can. And it's not like her past championship runs.
Yeah.
But if someone takes it off of her, they have to hold it for a while. They have to make this title something.
Yeah,
you can't get any worse than what it is at this point.
Because we got to be fair here, because obviously on this podcast, we've talked about a lot, too, about when you look at the women's titles, and Byron saying he's heard Jamie Hayter might not be back till next year. Well, next year's only a month and a half away, so. But on WWE, we've talked about only the 4 horsewomen hold titles. You have some Asuka in there. Like when we first started the pod, it was prime 4 horsewomen Asuka. There was a sprinkle in of maybe not even Bliss. That was even before we started. But we have Bianca Belair held that title for a year. We have Rhea Ripley holding the title. Liv Morgan has held the title. And different people have been sprinkled in. Ever since Thunder Rosa vacated that title, it has been Toni, Shida, Jamie, Saraya. So it's basically been 2 people. With Shida and Toni. And you're getting to a point, and you're right. It's almost starting to become a detriment because she wants to prove that she could be the main person without that title. But god damn it, Britt, if you just want the stupid title so we can get something new, and just take the damn title.
Yeah, I'd be happy with it. I would be happy. It's like if WWE was doing this and they were flip-flopping titles every other month, every other 2 months, whatever it is, if they were doing this, I would beg for Charlotte Flair to come back, win the title, and to hold it for 6 months. I would be happy to see Charlotte win it. And pretty much everyone here is hashtag anyone but Charlotte.
Right. Correct.
Just for the title being the title and what the title needs to be. I mean, it's really screwed up how your secondary women's title is done better than your main women's title.
Right.
That should never be the case. You could do and I would still complain about this if this was the TNT Women's Champion or TBS or whatever Turner Broadcasting Network it is. I would still complain about it, but I'd be like, it's a secondary title. At the end of the day, it's not the main title. But the fact they're doing this with the main title is absolutely horrendous.
I just don't get it. They've had all these women, new talent, all that there, and it's been the same people.
And they have talent in AEW. They really it's not like they're dealing with absolutely shit here wrestler. I'd say the majority of them are at least worth $1.50, not just $1. Shut up.
But
I mean, it's bad.
Jacob, what if another worst case scenario comes through because she made her Ring of Honor debut, Ronda Rousey? What if she's the one who comes the next champ?
Would she consistently hold that title?
I don't think Toni would take it off her in a month.
Honestly, at this point, I'll take it. And I'm not a Ronda fan. I just want to see the title be something.
No, I agree.
That's all I want it to be. I want AEW to be the pillar of light I can look at and say, hey, this is how shit should be. I miss it when AEW was starting out and everyone was so excited about it being like, finally, I'm so sick of the WWE stuff. Something new, something different. And now it's completely flip-flopped and everyone's looking at WWE like, hey, look at how good WWE is being and AEW is being trash.
Yeah.
But the Ronda stuff, This
is crazy. Great. And who knows, by the next time we're back on the podcast, there could be a new champion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we got more than. Yeah, we got like 4 hours. Something will happen.
Oh man, Jacob, real quickly again too. Backlash is going to be in France. This was, as I have deemed him on this podcast a year ago, probably one of my greatest Nick Khan conspiracy theories, which he basically did do. Um, man, WWE Royal Rumble is going to be in America. Elimination Chamber is going to be in Australia. WrestleMania is going to be in America. Backlash, France. Bash at Berlin's going to be a pay per view. It's going to be in Germany. These WWE's getting these mixing these pay per views. Like, I think it's genius to make the non Big Four pay per views in different countries because it makes it feel significantly bigger because of the crowds.
Yeah. And we've talked about it on this podcast a ton. Foreign crowds, man, they're lit.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely lit.
I don't think they'll ever get a Big Four, but given these other ones, I think they're killing it, man.
I mean, as long as they don't, and they do a pretty good job about it. As long as they don't screw up like the time it takes me to watch it,
Yeah.
I'm good with it. But
Yeah.
not early on a Saturday. That way, you got to stay up super late because I'm getting old.
That's true. Then WWE NXT is moving to the CW in 2024. That are going to get money from that. And yeah, Jacob, anything else, man? Survivor Series coming up. I know the next podcast is going to be a treat for you guys. We're going to do trying to get the wrestling crew together with the captain Byron Mitchell because at the time of we're talking right now, the day before Thanksgiving, next weekend is GalaxyCon in Columbus. Jacob, this will be your first GalaxyCon you're going to?
Yeah, first Galaxy.
Yep, and this will be me, Byron's second. There's going to be a lot, obviously, everyone, if you know what a con is, there's going to be a lot of people who play, superheroes, wrestlers, all that jazz. But we're going to try and record with the three of us in person that weekend because we've never got to do that on the wrestling side. So that's when we'll probably talk about what happened at Survivor Series and talk about some other shenanigans. So be on the lookout for that podcast. But Jacob, anything else, man?
I mean, you brought up the CW. Do we talk about them shooting down the NWA title, or not title, the television deal, and then picking up NXT?
That's just big moves, man.
I don't blame them one bit. They're probably talking to both of them. They're like, "Yeah, we'll sign this NWA." Like, oh man, they did. I forget exactly what they did on TV. They did something. It was something with cocaine or something. They're like, we don't like that. We can't have cocaine on our network. NXT, you're up.
That's crazy.
Get on the CW. I don't even know if that's available in my area. I have no idea.
It's on low. You can get that on an antenna. I'm just saying, it's like Fox and like CBS.
I'll have to put an antenna above the double wide trailer so I can get the CW now.
Oh man! But with that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in to the first Wrestling Live podcast. It was great, especially chatting with you guys. And Byron, Cedric chatting in there with you guys, getting your thoughts on stuff. We'll be back to review Survivor Series next weekend. And yeah, with that being said, L7C